folks? Tim W. Rago Games, Movies, and Vlogs. How the hell are you? And this week, I got my iced tea here, and the moment all you Tremors fans out there, including myself, have been waiting for. The moment is upon us. Tremors Shrieker Island. 7 weeks. You all 108 subscribers have been waiting for me to finally watch this movie and review it. And this is 10 weeks until I finally have gotten the chance to watch this. So, let's do this. Well, hello everybody, Tim W. Rago here, Games, Movies, and Vlogs. How the hell is everybody? And welcome to the end of Tremors Effects. We have the last movie, Shrieker Island, this week. And yet, it is a sad week. It is a very sad week indeed. Because, welcome to the end of Burt Gummer. Yes, Burt Gummer dies. For those of you Tremors fans out there, such as myself, or like myself, who have now watched all of the Tremors legacy, Burt Gummer is no longer with us. It was a sad moment watching that. He went down flipping off a graboid, which was really funny actually. But when he jumps in the air and flips off a graboid, the graboid eats him. And in 3, when the graboid ate him, there was there was Desert Jack to cut him out with a chainsaw. But this time, nope, there's nobody saving him. Here we go, onto the awesome screenshots that I have, like I've had with every legacy, with every entry in this legacy so far. This happens, this is right at the start of the movie. Like, literally, the movie starts out with showing off a graboid. Now, there's something that I did not mention when I reviewed Cold Day in Hell last week was, remember when I was talking about in 5 how the graboids make that mammoth noise? Like, they actually roar? I mean, the graboids have made sounds before, but they've always been like high-pitched screeching noises. In Cold Day in Hell and this movie, they actually roar, and when I mean roar, I mean they make the same noises Mighty Joe Young makes. I'm not kidding. It sucks I can't play Mighty Joe Young's roar. In all honesty, it sucks I can't, because I don't know if I'll get copyrighted for that, but, yeah, I probably would. But if you listen to the sounds closely, any monster fan would recognize it's Mighty Joe Young's roar from 1998. And that's awesome that they play those noises, but it's like when you hear it, you're like, oh my god, really? And once again, the special effects in this movie are just, oh my god, the effects are just amazing. They're just as great as Bloodlines and Cold Day in Hell. But, I mean, this movie was intense. Just watching it is like, it's something so radically different for Tremors. I mean, seriously, like, Don Michael Paul's era here for this legacy has been so radically, it's out of the norm for Tremors. Like, different continents, monsters have gone they're just so completely different than the original 4 and the TV series. So, but this here is just so radically different from Cold Day in Hell and Bloodlines, and what I mean by that really, is like the other two had an adventurous tone to it. Like it was intense, but at the same time very lighthearted. All the characters were all of them. Both 5 and 6 were lighthearted in tone, character-wise, and monster action-wise. But this one here is just, it's dark and intense, and the characters are, I mean, some of them are lighthearted, but then there's some that are just like, they're crazy. And here we go, hence the name of the title, Shrieker Island. Well, here you go. The Shriekers, I love the designs of these Shriekers. It's like, what do you call, the best monster I can kind of compare this to is Godzilla 2000. Now, let me elaborate on that before everybody gets confused. What I mean by that, it's like, it changes up the design, but keeps the overall impression. Like, you look at Godzilla 2000 compared to, like, the older versions of that character. So it's like, it's the same basic, like, silhouette, and it keeps the overall impression like, yeah, you recognize that as Godzilla. Well, it's the same thing with these Shriekers. Like, they look so different, but then when you look closely at it, like, okay, yeah, they're Shriekers. Those are the Shriekers. But the Shriekers they're a lot more intense than they were in the original part of the series here, because one, their design is just, oh my god, that thing is just ugly. And then on top of this, I mentioned they use Mighty Joe Young's roar, but then they also, and I'm not kidding about this, they use 1987's Predator sound effects when they show the world from Predator's point of view, with seeing the body heat, and then that like weird thumping noise in the back when they show those POV shots with the infrared. They do that same sound effect in this movie when they show the Shriekers' points of POV shots. Like, it's so easy to point out. Like, they don't even hide it. They clearly use the same sound effect. It's like, okay, wow, okay. And even one of the characters even compares the Shriekers to Predator because of seeing the heat signature thing. So it's like, oh, okay, wow. And then also, that same character that says that uses mud to try to block his heat signature from the Shriekers, just like Predator. So this character, wow, it's crazy that they made references to Predator in this movie, which was in itself kind of funny, but this movie is not funny at all. There's hardly any scenes in here that are funny. Like, maybe one of the human characters, like, he has a couple of funny moments, but the rest of the movie, just no. And then, Tremors in a jungle setting. Like, this whole movie is in Thailand, and, like, these hunters have taken graboid eggs and genetically enhanced them, so the graboids are super monsters, such as this one here. This graboid, wow, at first it's implied through some dialogue that one of the graboids, there was 3 of them that were brought to like some private island in Thailand and for some big game hunting experience. Well, one of the graboids grows, and when I mean grows, this is you can tell, this is not a normal size graboid. Graboids are usually 30 feet long, and when a person gets 8, it's, you can still see the person hanging out of its mouth. This thing here, this thing, as said through dialogue, they said this thing is 19 meters long, which I've calculated it to be 57 feet. Yeah, a 57-foot graboid. Yeah, that's insanely big. and then you've got like 2 other graboids that are, the usual 30 feet. But the 57-footer, oh my god, just look at this thing. And also, this thing's intelligence is enough to where it wanted the guy standing in front of it is not the big game hunter that brought it to the island in the first place, but the guy that did that, this graboid targeted him and eats him. Like, seriously. Burt Gummer even says it, that graboid wanted him dead. So it's like, yeah, the things are a lot smarter than the other 7 entries in this franchise. So, yeah, it's smart enough to actually target somebody. Yeah, that's insane. But just the fact that there's a 57-foot graboid, just wow. World's biggest graboid. That's insane. That's crazy. Like, I cannot believe that when they said that, I was shocked. And then just seeing it when it first shows up, and they said it was like Godzilla big. And speaking of talking about Godzilla, they actually made like 2 references to Godzilla in this movie. They say this one woman, one of the human characters, says like that the giant 57-foot graboid is they said like she's Godzilla big. And then earlier in the movie, before that line, Burt Gummer even points out this one guy's weapon and says like and tells him how weak his weapon is, and he says you may as well be spitting at Godzilla. So it's like, okay, that's funny. They make references to Predator, and they make references to Godzilla. That's kind of funny that they do that. It's cool, but at the same time, it's like, wow, okay. And this is like, and it's just so funny that they call the movie Shrieker Island, and yet you would think like the whole movie would focus on Shriekers, but it doesn't really focus on them that much. Like, the title promises, like, okay, yeah, the whole movie, yeah, like I said, the whole movie would be focused on Shriekers, but it focuses on the 57-foot graboid and like 2 others, and it does focus on Shriekers only for like half the movie here. But overall, like, you can't, but the title is not, I'm not saying the title's misleading, it's just interesting that, like, the graboids, again, take up a lot of the attention here, because they're the most dangerous, and then the Shriekers just, wow, look at this, the way that the Shriekers get killed is like, okay, they get, well, actually, before I talk about how the Shriekers die, these Shriekers now have, like, a new evolutionary advantage. They can use their shrieking as a weapon. That is something we've never seen with these monsters. Like, when the Shriekers show up and kill off a lot of the human characters in, like, less than 3 minutes, actually, everybody's ears just start ringing like crazy because of the noise. Because the Shriekers, yeah, they shriek at them in their face, but it's like a weapon. There's like a special way these monsters do it to render a potential prey item like defenseless or something like that. And then they just jump after everybody and kill them. So that's very interesting. That's a new thing. Don Michael Paul, like I said, I applaud him, but why did they kill Burt Gummer? Why? I'll explain that in the last screenshot in this video here. So yeah, but as you can see right here, the Shrieker is getting a chainsaw shoved into its mouth. Just wow. That's crazy. So Burt Gummer burns a lot of the Shriekers, and then the dude to the right of him chainsaws a lot of them. So it's a pretty crazy battle with the Shriekers. And then here you go. This is the end of the movie, which is, you would think that, you know, Burt and this other guy here, I forgot what his character's name is, They've said it a few times. Bert calls him Ram Boy. No joke. But Bert pushes this guy out of the way, and this is the 57-footer right here. You can tell by look at the size of its head compared to the Bert and the other dude. But Bert pushes this guy out of the way, and he flips off this graboid before when he jumps in front of it, it eats him. And the way they kill this graboid is actually a really huge reference to the very first movie. To the very first movie from 1989, because remember in the first movie when that graboid goes over the cliff and dies by splattering all over the place? Well, in this movie they do the same exact thing to this graboid. When Bert gets eaten, the graboid goes over a cliff, and then instead of just splattering everywhere, it gets blown up with explosives. So they did the same killing style as the first movie, but they added something new to it. But it's just so crazy that Bert dies. Wow. I don't think anybody was expecting that, but I was told on Instagram that Bert does die in this movie, but I didn't believe it, because it's Bert Gummer. Like, okay, he got eaten in Tremors 3, so it's like, okay, he nearly died in that movie, and then in Tremors 6, in A Cold Day in Hell, he almost died from the graboid venom. But now this time, he's gone, man. There ain't no getting chainsawed out of this one. When he got ate and that graboid went over the cliff, it got blown up. So there's Bert's not coming back this time. He's done for. So it's really sad, really. It's actually really sad for this franchise. You know, Bert Gummer is the face of Tremors, and sadly he's gone. So rest in peace, Bertram Gummer. You were like the face of the Tremors franchise. So for all as intense as this movie is, this movie gets a solid 10 out of 10 for me. It was great to watch, and sad that Bert's gone. And actually, at the beginning of the end credits, they show like Bert Gummer throughout the franchise here in the end credits, like by playing clips of all the Tremors movies, including this one. So that's like a nice little tribute to him. But I hope they do continue this franchise with Travis Welker, played by Jamie Kennedy in the last two movies. And they said that he got arrested and he's in a prison in Mexico. So, wow, okay. Alright, that's interesting. So, I hope you all enjoyed me talking about this whole franchise. I'm glad you all stuck with me the last 8 weeks. So, yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me on this series. So, please like and sub to not only this channel, but to the Movie Reviews Library. Email me at zillagary@gmail.com for video requests or dumb comments, and follow me on Instagram at lizardman2021. Thanks everybody for sticking with me.